those ones who finished already can start this, and at some point you meet together there. Okay? So the idea here is you completed the roof framing plan. You have all the details of your beams, you have all the details of your joists, and you have all the details of your columns. You also completed a table that tells the person who is responsible for quoting and buying the material how many beams you're going to need and what type of beams you're going to need, the sizes, the lengths, and everything. Okay? I have everything I mentioned here. Now the next step that you need to do following the instructions is to actually create the north elevation. So pay attention here. Remember that on the first day of class, 2 classes ago, I showed you guys a box and I said, oh, we have the north elevation here, we have the south elevation. We're going to try to create the same thing here. So what we have here is the architectural, elevations and sections. So this is how the south elevation is going to look like. This is how the east elevation is going to look like. This is how the north elevation is going to look like, architectural wise, okay? What we are trying to do is grabbing this and show what kind of structure we are going to see there, okay? So, do you guys have this on your computer or no? On your template? I don't think so. Yeah. Do you have the yellow here? The yellow, the S pudding? No, right? Yeah, because this is assignment 2, so it's okay if you don't have it. You should have something like this then, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So this is the south elevation. So pretty much what's happening here, guys, is I'm taking this drawing, and this drawing, and creating an elevation of it. Do you remember that I showed you guys a 3D version of it? Let me go here again and 3D example and open. You remember this 3D version over here? So in here, I have my south elevation, which will be like this one over here. Do you see? This is my south elevation, and when I go to my architecture here, this will be my south elevation. Do you see that them look like? So I have my beams here. What do you think these are? Joists. My columns are these ones over here, guys. The big ones here, columns. These ones over here, beams. And crossing each beam to beam, I have my joist here, which is the same one that you have on the roof. Check it out. The same thing that you have there, similar one we have here, okay? Which the force is going to the joist. So pretty much I gave you the south elevation ready. I also provided you here with the east elevation. So if I were to look this building from the east, so the east over here, if I were to look like this would be what I would look like. This is the east elevation, and this is similar to what I have here, this one. And pretty much what is this? If I go here, check it out, let me show you. If I go here, this is my south elevation, right? On the second floor, I should have a W460 by 60. So if I go here, south elevation, I have a W460 by 60. If I go on the second floor, I should have a W460 by 52. So if I go on the second floor, I should have a, if I go on the second floor, okay, there is a mistake in my drawing here. I should have a W410 by 46, okay? This is what I would see in here on the second floor. And then on the third floor, if I look into, oh no, I'm looking to the south. So yeah, W460 by 52, okay, so this is right, I should have this one over here. And then if I look into the south over here, I should have a W410 by 39. So if I go here on the third floor, W410 by 39. So I'm pretty much grabbing the plans here and putting them together to see what I see on my elevation. Is that clear or not? Yeah, do you understand that? Same thing will happen when I do my north elevation. But instead of looking here, here, and here, where do you think I'm gonna look at? So my south elevation, I'll look here, I'll look here, and I'll look here. When I'm doing my north elevation, where I'm gonna look at?
The other side?
The other side, right? So this is on the north, this is on the north, and this is on the north. So these are the beams that I need to draw when I'm doing the south elevation. Is that clear? And then later on, I'm at the north elevation, and later on I need to look at these ones over here. So check it out. On the first floor, I just have one beam because the first floor just have this portion over here. Then on the second floor, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beams that needs to be displayed there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beams that needs to be displayed there. And on the third floor, just one beam again, which is this one over here. Okay? So before we start this, we need to create a grid for this as well. So remember that we had a grid for the plan, we also have a grid for the section. It looks a little bit different. I'm gonna isolate here so you can see it, but what we have is pretty much this, guys. We have these lines over here that represents the level of it, okay? So how, this is ground floor, so level 0. This is second floor level, which is level 4,000. So if I measure this, I should have 4,000 here, so it means that it's 4,000 units away from here. Then roof level and penthouse level. Now, if I draw a line here, these lines should be aligned with this one with this one, this one with this one, and the same with this one with these ones over here, right? So how can I do that? Same process as I did before, guys. I'm gonna take the ground level, XL. I'm gonna create an XL here, and I'm gonna take a ground level here. Oops, XL here, in there. Okay, so I have this in here. So this intersection over here should be my A ground floor 0. Does that make sense? Yeah, everyone? Now pay attention to this. If I'm looking south here, this is the location that I'm seeing. I'm actually seeing F, E, D, C, B, A, X, A. If I look here and I'm looking this way, I'm seeing F, E, D, C, B, A, X, A. If I'm looking from the north, if I'm standing here and looking this way, oops, if I'm standing here and I'm looking this way over here, what is going to change on that? Do you agree with me that if I look this way, I would actually see A, AX, it would change the way I'm seeing the grid bubbles over here? And it does, look. If I look at the structure and architectural, I start with F, E, D, but when I look at the architectural north elevation, I'm seeing A, AX, B, do you see? So I need to flip this somehow. So look what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to come here, lay ISO, and I'm going to isolate the grid and this, okay? Isolating this over here. And then I'm copying this from the top over here, and I'm doing this. I'm selecting these grid bubbles, and I'm saying mirror it from any point in here. Yes, erase the original one, and then I can grab this one over here and just move a little bit here. Okay? It doesn't really matter the gap here and here as long as it fits. So what I did, I mirrored the way it looks like, but I kept the same elevation. Now, what is this intersection over here that I showed before? A and ground. So I can move this A and ground, this intersection over here, intersection, and I want to paste it here. So what happened? Now I have a line, my grid with my A, AX, B, whatever, and I have a line with the elevation as well. Yes?
So instead of copying the south elevation, can you just copy the north elevation grid?
From the architectural?
Yeah.
No, and the reason is they have different styles of creating this. So if you see here, it's actually text. Now I want this to be a block with an attribute, and it's ready for you in that sense here. They also have a different way of showing the elevation. You see this, the elevation sign? We don't use it on the structural drawing, okay? So it is a good idea, but it wouldn't work here. So you need to mirror it.
Can you do the mirroring again?
Yeah, I can do the mirror again. What I did is I copied the south elevation up here, and you agreed with me that these letters would be changed. So what I did, I select this only, because I don't want to mirror this. I selected any point here, it can be the midpoint, okay, and I mirror it. Do you want to erase the source object? If I say no here, I'm going to keep with 2 grid bubbles. I just want 1, so I'll say yes, erase the source object. Then I just select this again, and move a little bit this way over here. And then I can place the right intersection in there. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Now, let me tell you another thing. So we created the grid. I'm going to lay an ISO. This is what we have the grid here ready. The first thing that needs to be done is the columns, okay? Now, do you remember that the columns here were the same as the columns here? If you look into this 3D drawing as well, all the columns are the same. We don't have a differentiation in columns. So all the columns that I have here could actually be used in here to start my drawing, okay? Now, how do I do that? Because this should be mirrored as well. Do you agree? Do you agree? So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to isolate the layered column and the layered grid. And if you pay attention, the column right now, it's in S column, it's still section. Because we are doing an elevation, we are not looking at the plan anymore, we are looking at a section. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this again here. I'm going to mirror it entirely here. This way, yes. And I'm gonna copy just the columns with any reference point, and I'm placing it in here. So all the columns that were already here, I just moved to there, place them in the same location instead of drawing them again. You save yourself a lot of time there, okay? Now, after the columns, what do you think this line over here is? It's the ground. So, how can I have the north elevation ground here? 5 points. So who gets this right? No, I'm kidding, I'm not giving you points, but. So some suggestions are saying I grab the south over here, copy there, mirror it, and then I have the north. Is that right? What if, check this out guys, what if my ground is like this? So I'm looking from this way over here, this is what I see, but if I'm looking from this way over here, do you agree with me that I'm going to see a different thing?
Yeah.
So how can you take the ground from here, mirror, and put it there?
Just copy them.
You can't. What do you do? What? No, so I just said the mirror wouldn't work. Any idea? Hmm?
You look at the north of the architectural drawing.
Exactly. Check this out, guys.
Draw.
The same ground that I have here, I have on my architectural. East, east. Now this is how the ground looks like on my architecture. Now how can I copy this and make sure that it's on the same elevation that I need there?
Reference point.
So for example, if I copy this, I don't want it to place it here, 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 here. I want to place exactly where it is. How can I do that?
Pick the.
Pick a different point.
Take an intersection that it's known for us, right? So if I copy this, and I copy based on ground level and point F, for example here, and I copy here to ground level and point F, the floor is going to be on the right location. Does that make sense? Yeah?
You do that again.
Yeah, I can do that again. So what I did for the ground here, I used the north elevation architectural, but I want the ground to be placed in the same location as it should be. So when I copy this, I need to grab a reference. For example, ground level and F, if I take this intersection and I place on the intersection of ground and F, it will be placed on the right location with the same distance that I need. Does that make sense? Cool. So I have all my beams, I have my ground, I need to start laying out I have all my columns, sorry. I have my ground, I need to start laying out my beams. So let's start from the top here. On the top, the beam that I have, if I go from my penthouse here, it's this one over here. So look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna say Control Shift C. And I'm gonna specify this base point over here. And then I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna say Control Shift V. When I do Control Shift V, I copy this as a block. Do you see that this is a block? So I don't miss any lines or anything. It's just an easier way for me to do. Now I need to have my A here and my B here. So look what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rotate this like this, and I'm gonna create construction lines here, construction line here, construction line here, and I'm gonna align my A with my A here. So this is what I would see on this last floor over here, is this beam over here. Once you finish this floor, you're going to go to the second floor, paste this one, rotate it, and then you can see which beams you should be seeing. Does that make sense? Why I do this? So what is the beam that I should see here? W for 10 by 39. Do you agree? Now check it out. By destiny, the same beam that I have here, I have there. So instead of me doing everything again, what am I going to do? Okay. So check it out what you need to understand here. This is the beam, okay? The beam is this, and this is the dimensions of the beam. There's two ways that you can draw the beam on your own. Either you come, and I provided to you under course documents, I provided to you a beam, actual size beams, okay? The name that you see on the beam not necessarily is the size that you're gonna do. So for example, a W for 10 by 39, W for 10 by 39, where is it? Here, it should have a D, which is the distance from there to there, of 399, and should have a T, which is the offset here of 8.8. So this is what you would draw. If you don't want to look into this table, I provided some beams here to you. So W410 by 39, if I copy this beam over here, okay, and I place it here, it should have the same size. You see here, this is the same size of this beam, so you can draw based on the profiles that you have there on the top. Okay, cool. So this beam here is going to be the same. Now, what do we have before the beam? We have the joists. The joists are going to be located exactly where you place them. So if I make construction lines here, every line crossing here, I should have a joist down there. Okay, so instead of me measuring and trying to find where the information is, I just create construction lines and I know that here I'm going to have a joist, here I'm going to have a joist, I'm going to have this. So if I delete this, look what I'm going to do. And on the top of the joist, I need to have the floor. Okay, so these 3 lines over here, they are the ground layer. So this is provided by the architectural. So what we're going to do is just copy them. So for every floor, we're going to have the same. Okay, so you can actually extend these lines over here, that they are the same floor that you're going to have on both ways. So look what I'm going to do. For this one over here, I'm going to select this beam over here. Okay, I selected the beam, the floor, everything. I don't need this number over here. I'm going to copy based on a reference that I know. I know the start of the beam. And because it's symmetrical, I don't have to mirror it, but I'm going to copy it here. So now I have this beam placed in this location. Does that make sense? Now for the second floor, I need the floor first, these lines over here. So look what I can do. I can actually come here, extend until, let's say, here. I want to extend this line here, these 2 lines there. So now I have my floor there too, and once I start drawing my beam, I just need to place the joists and the location. Does that make sense or not? What I just did this. And then you can trim that instead of starting everything again. So I'll give you guys time to do this a little bit. You're gonna draw the beams here and the joists, okay? And pretty much based on all the information that I have here. I can do more with you in a bit, but just try to do it yourself a little bit, and we take it from there, okay? Any questions? A little bit hard, right?
Yeah, you lost me.
Yeah, this comes from, remember the orthographics? You gotta see a little bit. The hardest one will be definitely this floor over here, where you're gonna place it there. I would copy Control-Shift-C, select a base point, Control-Shift-V, I would rotate it 90 degrees like this, and then I would align, and then the beams that I'm gonna see, it's a 410 by 46, 250 by 18, 410 by 39. This one you already have, so you can have a copy of that. 250 by 18, 360 by 33, and place the joists, okay? The joists I'm also providing to you, you can either use these ones over here, that are here, or you can use these ones over here that are here for you. There's only 2 joists that we are using, 450 or 550. You can use these 2 over here, okay? They are provided to you. Make sense? Again, you're gonna have a lot of questions. Start working on it, and then I come back here and I do more with you, okay? Cool.